What's good, man? It's Kijana back with some fight predictions this week. UFC Fight Night, Poirier versus Hooker. It's going to be a pretty fucking good card, man. I think the top three fights I'm looking forward to the most is got to be, of course, the main event. Mike Perry versus Mickey Gall. It's probably got to be the last three fights, honestly. Brendan Allen versus Kyle Dawkins. I like Brendan Allen as a fighter. But I mean, I like Sean Woodson versus the Julian Rosa. I mean, pretty much the whole main card looks to be pretty good. Luis Pena versus Kama Worthy in the prelims. Jordan Griffin versus Yusuf Zalal. I mean, yeah. Most of these fights I'm looking forward to watching. So I'm gonna jump in straight into the prelims. We got Kate Hansen, 6-3 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 3 sub wins, 2 armbar wins, and 1 guillotine choke win. 1 KO/TKO loss back in 2018 to Kaylin Schwartz. She's on a 3-fight win streak, which is pretty impressive. She's making her debut to the UFC, coming from Invicta. Closed the distance really quickly. She has very nice takedowns and trips, and she has really good overall standing movement. Her lateral movement, she's constantly moving her feet, moving her head. She's moving out of the way a lot. She controls top positions very well. When she gets to side control, she looks to get into that crucifix position almost instantly. And if you try to roll over, she's going to take your back and most likely try to submit you and get a rear naked choke. But, yeah, man. She's pretty legit, dude. I feel like at 20 years old, she's gonna be pretty good in the UFC for the future. At least that's what I've seen. She's fighting a pretty tough fighter as well, Jin Yu Frey. She has a 9-4 record, 1 KO/TKO win, 2 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses. She's never been submitted. So this is another classic striker versus grappler matchup. She won last fight to Ashley Cummins. She is 35 years old, 15 years older than Kate Hansen. This is going to be interesting to see a really young fighter, fresh fighter, very green, coming into the UFC, to a fighter that's kind of old, has more fight experience, but seems like 35 is a little bit old to be starting in the UFC as a just for anyone, honestly. But yeah, she has 2 rear naked choke wins. She fights on her back foot a lot. I don't really like that. Nice body kicks. I mean, I guess fighting on your back foot can be good at times if you're a really good counter striker, which she's pretty decent at her counter striking. Pretty strong in clinch situations. Low volume striker though. She doesn't throw enough strikes for me. I feel like her output should be a little bit more. That's what I've noticed from some of her fights. I mean, maybe she is throwing more and I'm just not noticing it. I'm not tallying it up correctly. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like she doesn't throw enough significant strikes. She does have more experience, like I said, and she pops her jab out real nice. She uses her jab in her range in most of her fights really well. So, but I am going to roll with Kate Hansen on this one. I feel like a lot of people are picking Jin Yu Frey. And a lot of people are talking about Jin Yu Frey is going to beat Kate Hansen pretty obvious, in a pretty obvious way. But I just don't see it. I feel like Kate Hansen's probably going to get the job done. All right, next fight, Jordan Griffin versus Yusuf Zalal. Jordan, the native psycho Griffin, 18-7 record, 5 KO/TKO wins, 9 sub wins. That's a shitload of submission wins. 1 KO/TKO loss, 2 sub losses, 1 by rear naked choke and 1 by guillotine choke. So you can take his neck and probably try to submit him. That seems like it's going to be his weakness. He won his last fight by guillotine choke over TJ Brown. Pretty impressive performance. He's a wiry, explosive, powerful pressure fighter, dude. Jordan Griffin, he's just getting started, dude. He's very new to the UFC still. Strong double leg takedowns. Ground and pound is vicious. He has 2 guillotine choke wins, 1 neck crank, 1 armbar, 1 rear naked choke. He's only 30 years old, man. Like I said, he's just getting started. He's kind of at the prime, starting his prime years, and he's so versatile on the ground. That's a lot of different submission wins, victories. So I mean, Jordan Griffin, I mean, I could see him really pushing up to the top 15 rankings. He has the potential. He definitely has the potential. I'm not saying that he's going to be a champion ever. I don't say that. I wouldn't say that, but he definitely has the potential to be in the top 15, I feel like. But, I mean, that division is pretty stacked. He's fighting Yusuf Zalal, the Moroccan Devil. Trains out of Factory X. He's 8-2 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 5 sub wins, 2 decision losses. He's on a 2-fight win streak, pretty good. Has 2 Bravo choke wins, 1 guillotine choke win, 1 armbar, and 1 rear naked choke. So he's also pretty versatile on the ground, and he looks to get the fight to the ground for the most part. Great footwork and lateral movement, good leg kicks. Doesn't throw enough punches, in my own opinion. I feel like he throws a lot more kicks than strikes. At least not significant strikes, significant punches. He has nice takedowns. He's dangerous on the top though. If he gets top position, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. Very low volume with his punches, like I said. Always on the offense with his submission game. He's always looking to submit you some way. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. He opens you up with elbows, opens you up with punches, just ground and pound type of fighter, until you make a mistake and then he fucking chokes you out or gets you in an armbar or whatever he can fucking get. He's gonna go for it. He had a really good fight versus Austin Lingo in his last fight in February. I picked Austin Lingo to win. I thought he was gonna beat Zalal, honestly. I've seen a few holes in Zalal's game, but I feel like he might have polished those up a little bit. This is gonna be an interesting fight. I put a question mark by it because it's such a close matchup. I usually pick Jordan Griffin for the most part because he is an explosive fighter. I do feel like he has the better striking in this matchup, and he might even have just as good as of submission skill set, but I am rolling with Yusuf Zalal. If you guys feel differently on that one, make sure you drop a comment because I want to know who people are picking for that one as well, and I want to know why they're picking that fighter. It's good to get an inside scoop on how people are thinking and how people kind of, I don't know, how they study fighters. I want to know what they see in certain fighters too as well. So that's why I made the channel. I want us all to get that bag. But anyways, I'm rolling with Yusuf Zalal. I'm going to the next fight, Takashi Sato versus Ramiz Brahimaj. I think that's how you say his name. Takashi Sato, man, 15-3 record, pretty decent record. 5-1 ratio, that's not bad. 10 KO/TKO wins, that's a shitload of KOs. 2 sub wins, 1 KO/TKO loss. 2 sub losses, both by rear naked choke. So that seems to be his kryptonite as well. I notice a lot of people get submitted by rear naked choke in the UFC. That's like one of the top submissions, honestly. That and an armbar. He lost to Belal Muhammad in his last fight. Not a bad loss to have. We see what Belal Muhammad is doing. We see what his potential is. We see that he can be a top 5, fucking top 10 opponent. Belal Muhammad's legit, so that's not a bad loss to have. He beat Ben Saunders in his fight before that. That's not really a great win to have, honestly. I mean, it's cool. Ben Saunders is a veteran. He's been around for a while. Anybody who's been around for a while is a veteran, though. And that doesn't mean that you were a great fighter. That just means you've been around for a while. You've had fights. You've been active a little bit. Ben Saunders, man, he doesn't have no chin. He's never really progressed in the UFC, honestly, in my own opinion. So, I mean, that's cool. Takashi Sato got a win over him, but it's not really that impressive. He has decent striking, powerful left hand. His overhand left, dude, if it catches you, you're going to sleep. I mean, he has 10 KOs for a reason. Takashi Sato's no slouch. Held his own for 2 rounds versus Belal Muhammad, and in the 3rd round, he just got caught slipping. Been around for a while, though. He's only 30 years old, but it seems like he's a lot older because for how long he's been around. He hasn't been in the UFC necessarily for that long, but he was in K1 for a while and a few other organizations too, if I recall correctly. But he's fighting this young up-comer, man. Young and up-and-comer, Ramiz Brahimaj. 8-2 record, 8 sub wins, 2 decision losses. Has 3 rear naked choke wins, 1 Kimura win, 1 arm triangle choke, 3 guillotine choke win. Sorry, I already said that. But yeah, and 1 Kimura win. So he's pretty legit on the fucking ground, dude. This guy's pretty legit on the ground. Beat Carlos Martinez in his last fight. Brutal ground and pound. Uses that to set up slick chokes and submissions. Been in BJJ since high school. I watched an interview of this kid. He's been doing BJJ since high school. That's when he first started his junior year. So, I mean, that's a long time to be doing it. He's 20-something years old now. So, he's very composed on the ground. 7 out of 10 of his fights were all first-round finishes. Both losses were, of course, decisions, so he went the distance. So it seems like when he goes the distance, people can take advantage of that. Maybe he's lacking a little bit of cardio. Maybe Sato can fucking take advantage of that, you know? But I am rolling with Ramiz Brahimaj. I feel like he possibly could submit Takashi Sato, or if he goes the distance, and hopefully he gets his first decision victory. Or not first decision victory, but hopefully he gets a decision victory. You guys know what I mean. Ramiz Brahimaj. So yeah, I'm picking Ramiz. Next fight, Felipe Lins versus Tanner Boser. Felipe Lins, man, a.k.a. Monstro, 14-4 record, 8 KO/TKO wins, 4 sub wins, 3 KO/TKO losses. Lost to Andrei Arlovski in his last fight. He just didn't show up for that fight, man. I don't know what the fuck the deal was, but he used to train with Andrei Arlovski. Those guys, I guess, were friends and shit. Probably still are. But he lost by unanimous decision. He was on a 4-fight win streak beforehand. Throws bombs. He throws looping hooks, looping overhands, kind of wildly. Keeps his chin in the air. It's not the best kind of style to have in the heavyweight division. He is pretty explosive, but I just don't feel like that's the smart style to have in the heavyweight division, honestly. He has 2 rear naked choke wins, 1 guillotine choke, 1 triangle choke. He's pretty well-rounded, especially for a heavyweight. Does tend to gas out around the 3rd round. Not surprising being a heavyweight, though, man. They're carrying a lot of fucking extra baggage on them. Anything over 200 pounds, man, is to me, you're a fucking heavyweight, dude. 200 pounds, I mean, that's a lot of weight to be carrying around, you know? He's fighting Tanner Boser, man, the Bulldozer. 17-6 record, 8 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub wins, 1 KO/TKO loss. So I mean, he has 1-1 in the UFC. He beat Daniel Spitz by unanimous decision. He lost to Cyril Gane in his last fight, which Cyril Gane, he's a top contender, man. Cyril Gane's going to be a problem in that division, so that's not a bad loss to have. That's just a learning experience. He has some serious fucking power in his hands, though. Doesn't have the best takedown defense. Tanner Boser's takedown defense, I feel like if Felipe Lins can take him down and capitalize on that and somehow roll him to his back or something like that and fucking choke him out, I could definitely see Felipe Lins getting a submission victory over Tanner. He has good chin, kind of a low volume striker, has 4-inch reach advantage. That's one thing that's going for him. But I just feel like I have a question mark by this one too, because it's such a close fight, man. The matchmakers really made these hard to pick this time. Sometimes I know exactly who I'm picking without really even doing much research, just because of the type of styles, the matchups. But for this one, Felipe Lins is more well-rounded than Tanner Boser. I just feel like Tanner Boser's going to win, so I'm going to pick the underdog. I'm pretty sure Boser's the underdog in this one. Next fight, Mara Romero Barella versus Miranda Maverick. Barella, Maravilla, a.k.a. Maravilla, 11-8 record, 3 KO/TKO wins, 4 sub wins, 4 KO/TKO losses, 2 sub losses. That's a shitload of fucking KO/TKO losses for a woman. That's a lot of KO losses for a man too, but for a woman, that's a lot, dude. That's not good. That shows that she hasn't worked on her defense. She hasn't worked on her striking defense. It's not a good thing to have that many KO losses as a woman, man. It's just not. She's on a 3-fight losing streak. This could be her last fight in the UFC. Who the fuck knows? If she loses this fight, it's definitely her last fight in the UFC. I think it's probably going to be her last fight if she loses, especially if it's in a dominant fashion. If it's a close fight, she might get one more chance. But she lost to Courtney Casey in round 1 by armbar last fight. Lost to Lauren Murphy by 3rd round TKO. She got pieced up by Murphy. Murphy was fucking her up pretty much the whole fight. I think she was. She don't really have no chin. Doesn't do well on her back foot. And we seen that versus the Lauren Murphy one. She got caught with that knee in that fucking clinch and just went straight to sleep, man. Her striking's so. It's not that good. Her grappling's pretty good. I think that's what she should base most of this fight off of, is her grappling. Good takedowns, nice top control. Her rear naked choke and her armbar are probably her best submission. So she's 34 years old. She's getting up there in age. She's fighting Miranda Maverick, a.k.a. Fear Thee. 7-2 record, 5 sub wins, 2 decision losses. Has 2 armbar wins, 1 guillotine, and 1 rear naked choke win, 1 neck crank. She's pretty well rounded on the ground. She has submissions just like Mara Romero Barella. She's got decent footwork, in and out with her combos. Nice double legs. Her double legs are fucking legit, dude. I like her double leg takedowns. She's got that shit down. She knows how to time it correctly. That's what I like about it. Heavy top control and transitions. Always busy on the ground too. She's always looking to submit you. She's going to open you up with some strikes and try to submit you. That's what she does. She looks to take your back instantly on the ground. Good cardio. She's on a 5-fight win streak. I'm rolling with Miranda Maverick. I feel like she's going to get the job done. Possibly first or second round TKO finish or submission victory. I just don't feel confident in picking Mara Romero Barella. I just don't see how she's going to win other than possibly a submission, possibly a split decision. I'm going to put my faith in Miranda Maverick. I'm going to put my faith in the new dog. I feel like she'll get the job done. And Barella is probably on her way out of the UFC soon, unless she gets a dominant victory in this fight. That kind of makes things a little bit different, but I doubt that's going to happen. Next fight, Luis Pena versus Kama Worthy. Luis Pena, a.k.a. Violent Bob Ross, 8-2 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 4 sub wins, 2 decision losses. Lost to Matt Frivola, Michael Trezano, both split decision losses. I guess those aren't horrible losses to have if they're split decision. Beat Steve Garcia in the last fight by unanimous decision. Had a pretty good performance. Uses his range very well. He's tall and very lengthy in that division. Took 3 rounds to put Wyman out. That's kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of pathetic. Wyman he was retired for a few years, dude, and he just did not look in great shape for that fight, even though he normally has pretty good cardio. Luis Pena, he took 3 rounds, dude. He took 3 rounds to put Wyman out. It shouldn't take 3 rounds to put that guy out. Sorry, it shouldn't. I feel like you could get somebody off the couch and they'll take Wyman out. Like, you get someone to train for a month or 2 and they're gonna take Wyman out. I mean, I don't want to hate on Wyman or nothing like that. He made it to the UFC. He did his thing in the UFC. That's cool. All kudos. But Luis Pena, man, fuck, took you 3 rounds. You got the finish, but it took you 3 rounds. It shouldn't take you 3 rounds to beat that guy. And that guy he's old. He's old. I like Pena, but I don't know. I don't necessarily think he's gonna be a great talent. I think his name got him where he is right now. I think that Violent Bob Ross name, his talent's decent. It's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It's kind of in the middle. I think that Violent Bob Ross name is just catchy. It got people. It got people attracted to what he's doing, the afro, the whole look. I don't think his style's necessarily that great. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Luis Pena. I like Luis Pena. He's a decent fighter. But a lot of people are saying he might be one of the next stars. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. He's definitely evolving as a fighter, so who knows? Maybe fucking a few years from now, I'll be biting my own tongue on that one. I mean, maybe he'll end up being a champion. Who the fuck knows? If he does, I'm gonna look back at this video and feel stupid. But that's just how I feel. He's unorthodox with his stand-up. Has a guillotine win, Kimura, triangle choke, and rear naked. So he's pretty good on the ground as well. Pretty decent cardio too, considering he does a really massive weight cut. Nice double legs, 4-2 in the UFC. Stays fairly active. That's one thing I like about Pena. It seems like we're always seeing this guy. We're always seeing that Violent Bob Ross fucking. That we're always seeing that nickname. Everywhere on the UFC, we're always seeing that nickname somewhere. So, and Pena hasn't been in the UFC that long. So he's fighting Kama Worthy, aka the Death Star, 15-6 record, 9 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub wins, both rear naked chokes. Has been KO'd 5 times in the past, man. That's a lot of KOs. I just talked about Mero Romero getting KO'd 4 times. For Kama Worthy, 5 times is a lot. It's too much. That's brain damage. You're all fucked up in the head by then. 8 years by his in the last 8 years, he's been KO'd 5 times. Fuck, sorry for my stutter. Yeah, in the last 8 years, he's been KO'd 5 times. So that's a lot, dude. That's too much. By big names like Billy Quarantillo, Paul Felder, and Kyle Nelson. These were all outside of the UFC. He's only had 1 fight in the UFC, and that was versus Devontae Smith. Very quick and nasty performance. Great knockout. Just caught Devontae coming in. I kind of still think it was a fluke, but it was a great performance. I picked Devontae to get the job done. Those two both train together, and they're friends. He's tough. He's a scrapper. Doesn't have the best cardio. He's very unorthodox. You don't really know what he's going to throw. He's on a 6-fight win streak, so that says something. Yeah, has 2-inch reach disadvantage in this fight as well. So I am picking Kama Worthy, though, surprisingly. I'm picking Kama Worthy to get the job done. I feel like he will get the job done in this one. Pena's a decent fighter. He could use his range. He could pick Kama Worthy off from the outside, definitely. He could definitely strategically just out kickbox him if he wants to do that. Maybe take him down, try to submit him. But I'm rolling with Kama Worthy on that one. I'm picking a lot of underdogs in this one, I noticed. So it is what it is. We're going into the main fucking card. Sean Woodson versus Julian Erosa. Erosa's coming in on short notice. Sean Woodson 7-0, aka the Sniper. 2 KO/TKO wins, 1 sub win. He's a very big fucking featherweight 45-pounder. 6'3", man. I think that's the tallest. 6'3". I mean, he might be the only one that's in the featherweight division at 6'3". That's really tall, man. He uses his range very well. Call him the Sniper because he's precise with his striking. We've seen that on his debut versus Kyle Bogniak. 79-inch wingspan, or 79-inch reach. That's a lot, dude. That's a fucking lot, especially for that division. That's like fighting a giant. Very strong left hook. Has power in his strikes. Nice leg kicks. Very quick jab cross. He throws really nice combos, and he's in and out. Constantly. He's constantly moving his feet. Very good footwork. Volume striker. Good takedown defense. He's tall. He should have good takedown defense. Fighting Julian Erosa, a.k.a. Juicy J. I'm not feeling that nickname, Juicy. 22-8 record, 10 KO/TKO wins, 9 sub wins. Man, he has a lot of finishes. 19 out of his 22 wins are finishes. So Julian Erosa, he ain't no bitch. This dude gets the fucking job done. He comes to fight, and we seen that versus Julio Arce. Yeah, he did get knocked out with a head kick, but he came in and he was banging. I like Julian Erosa. He was banging. I like that shit. 4 KO/TKO losses, I think. Yeah, he has 4 KO losses. That's a lot. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He has his last win was to Jamal Emmers. 3 triangle choke wins, 3 arm bars, 2 Bravo chokes, 1 rear naked choke. He's very strategic with his grappling. He's slick. Very slick off his back and in top positions. Coming in on short notice, like I said, pressures his opponents relentlessly. He pays the consequences, though. Sometimes we've seen that versus the Arce fight. Well, we've seen that when he fought Arce. It didn't look that good, man. He's definitely chinny. Julian Erosa might have been winning that fight a little bit, or it might have been pretty even until he got caught. Doesn't have the best head movement. That's one thing I don't like. If his head stays still, he's gonna get fucked up by Sean Woodson, because Woodson, they don't call him the sniper for no reason. Go and look at his highlights if you don't believe me. This guy's legit. Sean Woodson has really good hands and pretty decent kicks, and he uses his range very well. We see a lot of tall fighters that don't know how to use that range, and Woodson he knows how to use that range. So I'm rolling with Woodson. I like this matchup for him. Julian Erosa is decent, but he is coming in on short notice. I don't think Julian Erosa will gas out. I just think Sean Woodson will pick him apart. Next fight, Gian Villante versus Maurice Green. Gian Villante, 17-11 record, 10 KO/TKO wins, 2 sub wins, 5 KO/TKO losses. Lost to Michael Oleksiejczuk in his last fight by first round KO too. It wasn't like he didn't even go the distance with him or nothing. But we know Michael Oleksiejczuk is a top prospect. He's very good for that division. Last win was to Ed Herman, very low volume striker, good takedown defense, looks to keep the fight standing. Gian Villante hasn't progressed not a bit since being in the UFC. He has no cardio, doesn't have much ground game. Trains with really good people such as Chris Weidman and all the New Yorkers and shit. But Gian Villante, he sucks. He sucks. I'm sorry. Gian Villante sucks. He's garbage. Gian Villante's garbage. Shouldn't be in the UFC. That's cool that you have knockout capabilities, that you can KO somebody with one punch, but anybody can KO somebody with one punch, honestly. Anybody. Almost anybody can KO somebody with one punch if they hit that chin the right way. So it's nothing special. I feel like you should be somewhat special to get into the UFC. You should have something that's different than everybody else. You shouldn't have... Gian Villante, he's very basic. I don't want to talk bad about the guy either, because he is in the UFC. He's making money for his family. He's providing for his family. He's doing his thing. That's cool. But he hasn't fixed the cardio issue. I bet on Gian Villante. I'm not a fan of him, but I have bet on him. He's lost me money in the past. I'm not mad about that, but he's a low volume striker, and it still seems like he gasses out. I don't get it. How are you not throwing any strikes, but you're still gassing out? Unless you're just getting pieced the fuck up. And he hasn't got pieced up in every one of his fights, but it doesn't make any sense. I understand he's a heavyweight. Heavyweights get tired, but man, you shouldn't be getting tired just for moving around the octagon. That's not good. He's a light heavyweight going up to heavyweight, so that's not good either. He hits hard. He has KO power, like I said. He's fighting Maurice Green, the Crochet Boss, 8-4 record, 2 KO/TKO wins, 4 sub wins, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. Has a 6-inch reach advantage on 2-fight losing streak by sub and KO. Has KO power, of course. It's the heavyweight division. So when anybody says somebody has KO power, of course they have KO power. It's the heavyweight division. They all have KO power. That's nothing special. But Maurice Green does have a decent ground game. Uses range fairly well. Decent kicking game. Chops those calves down. Excuse me. Has 3 triangle choke wins, 1 arm triangle choke win. So those are his go-to submissions, it seems like. People are going to think I'm crazy because I am rolling with Gian Villante. And it is crazy. It's definitely crazy. I picked Gian Villante a few times, and he's lost for me a few times, like I said. And Maurice Green has the reach advantage, and he's more well-rounded. But I'm picking Gian Villante. He's the underdog. Another underdog I'm picking. I'm not confident in that pick whatsoever. I put a question mark by it. A lot of people are picking Maurice Green to just fuck this guy up. I don't think he's going to fuck him up like that. He might edge him with a split decision or just a decision victory. He could submit him, could take him down and submit him. I definitely could see that. Maurice Green has decent takedowns as well. So, fuck it, man. I'm gonna pick Maurice Green, man. I can't roll with Jean Vellante, man. I can't roll with Jean Vellante. I can't. Next fight, I'm not even gonna go into their fucking stats because I don't care about their stats. I already know who I'm picking. Brendan Allen versus Kyle Dawkins. Ranked 13, Brendan Allen, man. Top prospect. Kyle Dawkins making his UFC debut. Dawkins is pretty fucking good, dude. He's pretty good. I feel like he's gonna have cardio too. I feel like a lot of people are counting him out. This whole fucking card is like built for underdogs to win. It really is. At least that's what I see. I could be wrong. Could be completely wrong. But lately, I'm not. I've been pretty fucking accurate on my picks. I've been going 9 for 11, 10 for 11, 11 for 12. I'm always just one fighter off. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going off topic. I'm picking Brendan Allen in this one, but don't count Kyle Dawkins out. He's a legit play on this one. I feel like he really is a legit play. Brendan Allen is heavy-handed. Go look at some of his fights in the past. Brendan Allen is heavy-handed. He'll knock you the fuck out. He doesn't just have jiu-jitsu and submission skills. Don't get me wrong, he has great submission skills. He's 2-0 in the UFC. Both were finishes. Beat Tom Breeze by TKO in his last fight. Submitted Kevin Holland on his debut. That was very impressive. We see Kevin Holland he's a top prospect as well. Has 2 unanimous decision losses to Anthony Hernandez and Eric Anders, if you can believe that. Anthony Hernandez got fucked up by Kevin Holland first round, but yet he submitted Kevin Holland. The math doesn't work for fights at all, so don't ever go off of that. Brendan Allen, dude, he's legit. Kyle Dawkins, legit. This is probably going to be a grappling match. If Brendan Allen can keep it on the feet, I think he's going to piece Kyle Dawkins the fuck up. And he hits way, way harder, I feel like. But Dawkins definitely could submit him. It's kind of a tough, I know he's coming in on short notice, very short notice, but it's kind of a tough matchup to call, like to really pick, to call. Because, I could see Brendan Allen losing. I could see him getting submitted, and that's a huge underdog play. But I'm rolling with Brendan Allen. I'm not going to talk too much more about that one. Next fight, Mike Platinum Perry versus Mickey Gall. Oh, man, dude. There's a lot to talk about for this fight. I don't know what's going on with Mike Perry, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Mike Perry. I've said it in the past. When I first watched Mike Perry in the UFC, I did watch him before he came into the UFC, like two fights before he was in the UFC. So I kind of knew about him already, but Mike Perry has serious mental problems. He has serious. I'm a huge fan of Platinum Mike Perry. I've been a fan of Platinum Mike Perry for a while. He's probably in my top 25 fighters as of now. I'm not saying all of overall out of all the UFC fighters that have ever been in the UFC, but as of now, I like watching Mike Perry. He's not the best fighter in the UFC, not even close. Doesn't use his head that much. He's a brawler, dude. Mike Perry's a brawler. He wants to fuck you up. He wants to dirty box you. He wants to throw those elbows. He wants to piece you. He wants you to go to sleep. He wants to take your soul from your fucking body. That's what Mike Perry's looking to do. He's very aggressive, sometimes over aggressive. We've seen it in the Donald Cerrone fight. Very over aggressive. He doesn't think when he gets angry, and I feel like in a lot of his fights he is angry. He doesn't think. So that's the one thing that just turns me off of Perry whenever I want to pick him. I picked him versus Donald Cerrone. Horrible decision. I always pick Cerrone. Cerrone's been my day one dude. I always pick him, especially when there's money involved. And I picked against him, and he submitted Mike Perry. I thought he was gonna piece Donald Cerrone the fuck up. He didn't do that. I picked him versus Jeff Neal. Can't say much about that one. We all know what happened on that one. Jeff Neal, man. He's legit. Jeff Neal's fucking legit, dude. Like, you can't say nothing about Jeff Neal, but Mike Perry, man, like I said before, I think he needs his coaches. I think he needs some coaches, some coaching. I don't think his girlfriend in his corner is going to do it for him, honestly. I just don't. It's not a smart decision. He's very distracted with the Darren Till stuff. I do find it kind of funny that he gets that aggressive and that mad over little things like that. But coming from Mike Perry's background a little bit, he's not one to really play around with. He's not a dude that you can joke around with. Certain people you can tell automatically off top that they're not people that like to really play games. Yeah, they'll play games a little bit with you, but once you take it to that next level, it becomes a whole different story. He wants to kill you. Mike Perry has that look in his eyes where he will kill you. Like, he will. He'll go to jail for it, too. He has some screws loose. People need to stop fucking with that dude. He has screws loose. Seriously. He needs some fucking, he needs some help. Mike Perry needs some psychological help. I'm a huge fan of him, and I hope he gets it. I like watching Mike Perry fight. And I feel like he's going to fuck Mickey Gall up. I feel bad for Mickey Gall. I really do. Even with Mike Perry not having any training, he trained, but not having any coaching and shit, I feel sorry for Mickey Gall, man. Mickey Gall was talking a lot of shit a while back. I think it was on Thanksgiving. He posted a video saying he would whoop Mike Perry in the fight, and now he's all buddy in the videos. He's all nice and cordial, and he has that shimmer in his eye, that little glistening, those glistening eyes. He looks a little timid. I'm interested to see how the weigh-ins are gonna look, how they're gonna look, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mickey Gall's pretty good. He's got great submission skills. Pretty good takedowns. Not the best takedowns. He needs to work on his takedowns for sure. I don't think he's going to have the strength advantage of this one. He's not going to have the striking advantage. Mike Perry has chin. He did get caught by Jeff Neal. We've seen that he can get knocked out. He's been rocked a few times in past fights. People that before he even got into the UFC. If you go back and watch some of his past fights, he's been rocked. So don't think that Mike Perry is just, he can't get rocked, because he can. He's been knocked out before. He's been rocked. But Mickey Gall, man. Bad matchup. You better get it to the ground quick. That's all I'm saying. And Mike Perry is not an easy person to keep on the ground. We see that time after time. He gets back up. He's explosive, strong, powerful. He's got that, I don't want to say it, but he kind of got that retard strength a little bit. He's not the brightest person out there. He's got some mental shit wrong with him. And Mickey Gall shouldn't have took this fight, honestly. If he gets the win, I'll bite my tongue. Even if he gets the win, he's going to get pieced up. He's going to have some cuts. The only way I can see Mickey Gall winning this fight is if he takes his back quickly and he rear naked chokes him. That's the only way I see Mickey Gall winning this. He's not going to pull a Sage North cut and fucking rock him and then submit him. He's not rocking Mike Perry. It's not happening. I don't see it. Yeah, I'm picking Mike Perry, if you guys can tell. I'm picking Mike Perry. Please get some help, Perry. Please. You need help, my dude. You really do. You might not know it. Your girl needs to tell you need some help. Somebody that's close to you needs to tell you that you need some help. Like, he's gonna, man, you got a drinking problem and shit and all that. Like, it's cool to party and all that, but man, dude, you gotta get some help, though. Huge fan. You probably don't give a fuck, but I'm a huge fan. Next fight, Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Ranked number 3 versus ranked number 5. The main fucking event, dude. Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Dan the Hangman Hooker. I mean, you could say a lot about this fight. I'm rolling with Dustin Poirier. It's a very gutsy play for me at the same time because Dan Hooker is he does so well with his range, very good with his leg kicks, his calf kicks. He's incorporated those very, very good in his game plans. He tried to do the same thing with Barbosa. Didn't really work. Barbosa chopped his fucking legs down. You can't chop the trees like Barbosa. You just can't. Gaethje can a little bit, but Gaethje's great. Gaethje's another guy that has some screws loose. Not like Perry, but he has some screws loose. But yeah, Dustin Poirier, man. There's a lot to be said about this guy. His grit, his willpower, his work ethic, everything is on point. Only thing I'm worried about is he just recently had some hip surgery. I'm not sure what exactly got done. I wish I did know what got done. If somebody knows what got done, put it in the comments for me. I would appreciate it. Huge fan of Dustin Poirier. He's from Louisiana. That's where my roots are from as well. That's what's up. But Dan the Hangman Hooker, man, he's going to look to pick him apart from the range. Dustin Poirier is a very good boxer. If he gets in your range and gets in distance, he's going to piece Dan Hooker up. Dan Hooker is known to gas out. Seen it versus the Paul Felder fight. I thought Paul Felder won the fight. I honestly did. I feel like most people thought Felder won the fight. And he just pressured the shit out of Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker didn't have an answer. He was gassed out by the 4th round. Dustin Poirier will pressure him if his legs don't get chopped the fuck up too quickly. He's gonna either way he's gonna pressure him. If his hip holds up, if his legs hold up, if he's sturdy and strong, if he's really ready, if he's really 100% and ready to be in there, Dustin Poirier is going to fuck Dan Hooker up. He really is. Dan Hooker could definitely catch him with something from the outside. Poirier's had some problems with people that have long range and fast hands, such as Dan Hooker. He had a problem with Michael Johnson. He's had a problem with a few other fighters that I can't think of off the top of my head. But Dustin Poirier, I'm picking him for the win, man. I'm a huge fan of Poirier, man. I like his work ethic. I like how hungry he comes into fights. I like how driven he is, man. He's a real driven person. And Dan Hooker is too. He's no slouch. But I seen all I needed to see from the Dan Hooker versus Paul Felder fight, honestly. I seen all I needed to see. Dustin Poirier is going to get the job done, whether it's by decision or a TKO. And don't count Dustin Poirier on the ground, man. Underrated submission game. Dustin Poirier he can submit Dan Hooker. He can definitely submit Dan Hooker. He's got better grappling than Dan Hooker by far. He needs to watch out for that. He just needs to watch out for that range. He needs to watch out when he's coming in for the knee. Dan Hooker loves to throw those knees, and that's really it. That's really it. He doesn't need to watch out for too much more other than those few little things. But yeah, man. Hopefully you guys like my video. Hopefully you guys drop some comments, get engaged in this bitch. Let me know your top 3 picks if you were gonna do a parlay. What your top 3 picks are gonna be. I'm interested to see that. I'll throw some of my bets out there too this week. I've been holding off on doing that. I haven't really wanted to show people my bets before I place them, but fuck it, dude. I'll put some of my actual parlays that I'm gonna be rolling with this week, and I'll put some of my DraftKings lineups as well on there. I usually do a few of those, so. But yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. If you know anybody that likes watching UFC fight predictions or is interested in UFC at all, tell them about my page. I love the support. Thank you for the love. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the likes. All of it, man. It doesn't go unnoticed. Fight Island. We can talk about that. First fight of Fight Island, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It's going to be another competition. Same competition as I did last time. It's not going to be any changes, so I will keep you guys up to date on that. And there's going to be some cool prizes. I'm looking forward to doing that. So make sure you guys enjoy the weekend. Stay safe.